Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode number 76 of the Friday Nightmares podcast. It is so good to be back. It's been a nice long break, and I am fresh and ready to go. I am one half of your hosting team this evening, Mr. Smokeshow Crawford, coming to you from the town of Swartz Creek in the county of Genesee, in the state of Michigan, in the United States of America, in the North American continent, in the Western Hemisphere, on the planet Earth, in the Milky Way galaxy. Fully vaxxed, boosted, and waxed, and ready to climax. And if you can, please get me wet and feed me after midnight. I'm the man with the glorious beard, aka Mother of Cats, aka the man with the humongous ego, aka Scotthausen, aka the Golden God, aka Spanky. And with me, as always, is.
When did you become the Golden God?
I just threw that in there.
Was that new?
Yeah.
It's new, right? Oh, from
Yeah.
your tanning?
That's kind of what I figured. I'm like, I'd add that because of the tanning.
That's really cool. And with him is his loyal ride or die bitch, Heather Powell, coming to you today from Waterdown, Ontario, Canada. We're better than horror for Dummies for Horror, and you know it, Tim Davis. Is it Dummies of Horror?
Yep, Dummies of Horror. We're better than them, and
they know it. Doesn't like Infinity Pool.
Gosh. We're going to have some words there.
We're just kidding. Tim's allowed to have his own opinion.
He is, but during the month of March, he's getting no dick.
Wow. Well, man, hopefully his wife will step it up and give him all that she can, huh? Someone's got to service that Tim, that glorious Tim. So, welcome back, Scotty. It's been several weeks. It's nice to see. Well, okay, Scott and I talk all the time, but it's been several weeks since we recorded. So here we are.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I'd say it's good to be back, kind of. I mean, I was hoping to bring back the tropical weather with me, but unfortunately, I just brought more dreariness and despair with the winter storm we got hit with over the week.
Yeah, sums up half of the watches for 2023 so far. So that's kind of a pretty good comparison. But you had a lovely time, and we'll definitely get to it later on.
Yeah, I don't even know where to begin when we get to that because, yeah, there was a lot to talk about.
You know, I was just listening to our old episode while I was taking Mickey for a short walk, and I was listening to you criticize me about talking about the UP or the UK. So, but I'm going to give you the kindness of listening to your vacation without being a judgy pants. And even though you shared with me all the beautiful pictures of your room and all the food you were eating and all the beautiful places you went to, I'm not jealous because I'm so humble and woke.
Because you're an 8, what is it? You say that I'm a 10, but I'm an 8 at best, plus 2 says you because I'm so humble.
Yes, that's exactly right. Which, by the way, you love Lonely Island. I feel like I just really discovered them the other day.
Oh, they're amazing.
And now I've been listening to the Jack Sparrow song.
That song's amazing.
So often that Spotify has it on my most repeated songs.
Oh, I love them guys.
Honestly, too funny. But yeah, we have some 2023s to talk about. Thank God. Scott and I didn't record for a month and we managed to pull some shit out of our ass. So
well, and thankfully a lot finally came out and were available to us. And we watched a bunch before. I watched a bunch before I left because I knew I was gonna need to play catch up when I came back. And then I watched a bunch when I got back here. So, like, yeah, we made ourselves a pretty decent-sized list.
Yeah, we've done pretty good. And as we know, this is the premium podcast that you come to listen to 2023 releases, specifically from Tubi. We're ahead of the curve when it comes to Tubi films.
Only quality content.
The best content. But we're going to shift away from Tubi for a couple of minutes, and we're going to talk about a really great documentary series and the third installment of it, and that is In Search of Darkness Part 3. This sits at a whopping 342 minutes. So yeah, maybe some people out there can watch this in one sitting. I myself had to split it up. I think you had to split it up too, Scotty, right?
I would have been able to watch the entire thing if I had time while I was at work, but I think I got like 4.5 hours of it knocked out in one day and then finished it off the next day.
That's pretty impressive. So the synopsis for this is the final journey into 80s horror. The epic conclusion to the In Search of Darkness and this epic final chapter, our focus turns to the straight-to-horror video classics that populated the bottom shelves at the video rental store. Imaginative, gory, experimental, but always entertaining, these hidden gems are ripe for rediscovery. I can see Scott's rating on here, and I can also see Mr. Rob Humphrey's rating on here of 3 stars because Rob doesn't like the 80s apparently.
Good Lord, Rob, I swear to God, I'm gonna kick you in the dick so hard.
Oh, wow. Rob's like, yeah, Scott, talk to me more. So Scott, why don't you 5 stars, Scotty? That's a mighty high rating.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I think In Search of Darkness 1 and In Search of Darkness 2, I also rated 5 stars because these documentaries are incredible. Like, the first
Mm-hmm.
one, they definitely just hit on a lot of the big mainstream stuff of the 80s.
Yep.
And the second one started sprinkling in more of the sequels and some lesser known things. But then this one, dear Lord, they did a deep dive, pulling out some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say over probably half the films they mentioned in this. And they mentioned a lot of films, and about half of them I never even seen or never even heard of.
Yeah,
Like it
totally.
was, and they just show like their love for this genre and the love for that era, and they go into a lot of not super deep detail about each movie, but they go into enough of the movie, especially if you don't know about it, to introduce you to these films and to kind of give you an idea of what they're like. And I just love that. Like, and it shows that everybody they interviewed for this absolutely loved it and loves that era and loves that horror, loves the horror from that era. It was incredible. And then they even did like a thing in the credits where it was all the fans showing their love for the 80s horror genre. And it was, yeah, one of the best documentary series I've ever seen.
So Carolyn Monroe was in this a lot.
Yeah.
And the reason why I bring her up is because my friend from England, Mark, recently interviewed her at a
Mm.
science fiction convention that he was at, and he interviewed her for about an hour and a half in front of people, and he said that she was just one of the loveliest people. She was so kind and really engaging with her fans. And I actually felt like that really came across. And I think that's why they had her so much in this documentary, because I thought she was actually really engaging. I'm like,
Yes.
yeah, Mark's right. This lady's really into what they're talking about. And I think everyone that gave interviews were very good as well. I think the In Search of Darkness series, I think Shudder with documentaries in general knocks them out of the park. There's only been one that I haven't been a fan of. The rest of them are just fucking mwah, chef's kiss. So if you
Right.
have Shudder, watch this. It's on all the Shutters, whether it's AMC, regular Shudder, um, Amazon Shutter. You can locate it, and it is worth the time. You may have to split it up into sessions, but you can do that. It's not a documentary you can't walk away from and come back into. So,
Yeah, because it's
um,
very good at like just doing like 1980,
yeah,
1981,
yeah.
1980. Like so you could watch it as like a couple years a day or whatever until you finish it.
Absolutely, it's totally worth it. So we strongly recommend it, and that is In Search of Darkness 3 on the Shutter.
Hell yeah, that's a high recommend from me. So yeah, going on to the next film we both watched. This one I had seen it mentioned on I think it was bloodydisgusting.com, and I told Tim Davis like, or I tagged Tim in it going, "Oh shit, Tim, a possible good werewolf film coming to Netflix. Let's check. Let's see if this is gonna be worth anything." And he ended up watching it first and said he enjoyed it, so I ended up watching it. And I know you ended up watching it as well, but it's
Yeah.
called Viking Wolf. After witnessing a grotesque murder at a party in her new town, a teenager starts having strange visions and bizarre desires. This is a Netflix original, and it's a Norwegian film. And so it's got subtitles, or like most Netflix foreign films, they also have dubbing. And
Yep.
I ended up watching the dubbed version, which I didn't find to be too bad. Like the dubbing wasn't terrible at all because I was working, so it just made it easier. And yeah, I thought this was a pretty damn fun werewolf film. Like CGI is a bit iffy here
Yeah.
and there, but it doesn't take away from the film at all to me. I found it to be very fun, very enjoyable, and it actually showed like a true legit American werewolf in London style werewolf. Not like the bipedal ones, not like a dude with just a little bit of fur on his chest and some long fangs, like full on werewolf. And yeah, there was some good like carnage scenes, especially in that third act. And yeah, I had a lot of fun with this. How about you?
Man, I thought this movie moved really quickly. I really enjoyed the plot base of it. It went places I didn't think it was going to go with some of the main characters' decisions and stuff that they did, and I love how it kind of left you wondering at the end. I you kind of get an idea of what happened, but a part of me was like, I wonder if she actually went through with what she had to do. I think this is another example of international horror on Netflix done right.
Yeah.
Again, I find that that's over and over again that's where good international horror lays, is in Netflix. So I strongly recommend it. I think if you're into werewolf films, I think Tim Davis said it best. This is not, American Werewolf in London, but you don't always have to have that as a bar. Like there's Ginger Snaps, there's like
The Howling. Yep.
the Howling. There's like lots of werewolf movies that people are into, and I think honestly, this one deserves to be watched. It's free on Netflix. If you have Netflix, why would you not take the opportunity? So yeah, I recommend it
Exactly.
as well.
Yeah, this was definitely good. I think that I gave it like a 7 out of 10 or an 8 out of 10, something like that.
Yeah, and I think that's a really fair rating. I think I would probably be 6.5, but not because like, oh, I didn't like it. It's just I'm not huge on werewolf movies. Like they're
Right.
okay. But I thought this was quite good. So yeah, definitely. Especially have the Netflix. Why miss out on it? The next one we're going to talk about is Blood. So Blood is a 108-minute runtime, and the tagline is, "How far would you go to save your child?" Jessie, a newly separated mother and nurse, moves into her old family farm with Tyler, her teenage daughter, and Owen, her 8-year-old son. One night, the family dog senses something in the woods and runs off to find it. He returns a couple of days later and attacks Owen savagely before Jess is able to intervene. Owen is rushed to the hospital. His condition worsens, and no one can figure out why until Jess discovers a disturbing cure. Um, I really thought this was a good average horror movie that came out this year. I like to give a shout out to Michelle Monaghan. I thought she was quite good. Skeech Elrich is in this as well. This movie conquers the concept of addiction. It's a little in your face of what they're talking about. Clearly it's about addiction of different forms and how it changes you and how sometimes you can't get past it.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought that it was really, really well done. I think it gives life to a specific type of genre. I think it's something different, and I applaud the director and the writers for that. I think they really did try to do something different with this film, and though I don't think it's an overly huge standout, I do think it was quite enjoyable.
Yeah, I completely agree. Once again, like you say, it definitely covers the form of addiction, and like this has been done in this specific style of a subgenre of horror before, like what this person like is basically addicted to and what it's trying to say about addiction, but it's done through the eyes of a mother and helping her child,
Yeah.
and yeah, like the tagline said, like you pretty much what would you do to save your child, and like this mother goes through what she can to do what she can for her son, and it's heartbreaking and also a fascinating watch at the very same time, because it was definitely some very sad moments in this, because it was kind of hard to watch with some of the things that ended up happening.
And it questions of where is the line,
Yeah.
right? And I think everything in this movie, the setups all made sense. There's a secondary character that you meet early on that you're not quite sure why you're meeting the secondary character, but it
Yes.
makes sense later on. So yet again, I think I can't even explain why this movie didn't push it over more than average for me. I don't really know, but I will say that I was invested. I did not know how it was going to end. I will say I was surprised on how it ended, and I thought the ending was probably the most honest ending I've ever seen in a movie.
Yeah.
And that I really applaud, is when you can do an ending that to me is very honest and real. That's impressive.
Yeah, 100%. Like, because yeah, that is a very this is for one a very difficult subject to talk about,
Yeah.
and I think they handled it correctly. And like you, yeah, I'm not sure like what was missing to make this better than just a little more than above average. Because
Yeah.
I think I also gave this like a 7 out of 10. Like it was definitely worth the watch,
Yeah.
and it might be on people's lists at the end of the year. It might have more of an effect on certain people. Like it
Yeah.
definitely had a profound effect on me because I've dealt with somebody with addiction before.
Yeah.
So like
I
I
was
understand.
thinking of you when I watched it. Every time I see stuff with addiction, I know about your experience. I'm knowing someone who is an addict. And I think, yeah, like Scott will really understand this. Like I
Yeah.
think there's just a level of understanding you get from having that experience. But yeah, honestly, I think people should check this out. It is available. We've talked a little bit about it. It's available for rent on iTunes, Google, Amazon, YouTube, Microsoft Store. And honestly, like it you hearing the description, you can kind of guess what the cure is that this kid can have to keep him going. So you probably understand what the genre is. I think if you're into that, it's a 97-minute runtime. I think it's worth your time. I think it's
Yeah,
well acted. It's money went into it. The plot makes sense. It's just not something that grabbed either one of us enough to be in our top, 10. But I,
like
I would say it's top 30 or top 20 material right now. Like, it's good.
yeah, I was gonna say for me right now, it's probably in the top 10, but that's just because we haven't watched enough
I
yet.
watched a
But
lot of movies. Yeah, I'm thinking at the end of the year kind of thing, right?
yeah,
But it would definitely be a movie if someone was like, "Hey, I want to watch something about addiction and, I'm really into this specific type of genre." I'd be like, "Yeah, you should check this out. It's different."
right.
It's something that's different. And I really like it. Like I will kind of give this away a little bit, but what was the sexy one that was about addiction was about drugs kind of, and it was fuck. There's a threesome at the beginning.
Oh, Bliss.
Bliss, right? Like what Bliss did. I
Yeah,
think this was a very good, not as good as Bliss, but along the same lines of doing something different, which I think is cool. So,
yeah, completely agree. And where was that one able to be found? I didn't get you.
oh, so iTunes, Google, Amazon, YouTube, and Microsoft Store.
All right. All right. Well, then, yeah, I'll jump on to the next one because I know we both have watched this as well. The next one is called Baby Ruby. A mother's instincts never lie. After welcoming her baby Ruby home, the tightly scripted world of lifestyle influencer Joe starts to unravel. As increasingly sinister happenings mount, Joe is plugged into a waking fever dream where everyone is a threat and nothing is what it seems. So, when I seen the cover of this movie and read that synopsis, I'm going, oh boy, here's another one of these weird like pregnancy horror films that always talk about is my baby evil and this and that and it plays on those fears that a lot of these pregnancy horror films tend to do.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
while this one kind of feels like that's what it's trying to do at first, it goes into a completely different realm. This film was very, very, very realistic and heavy because it talks about postpartum depression and like what that kind of looks like. And man, I thought the performances in this were really well done.
Oh, like possibly awards this year for
Yeah,
how good the main lady was. Her name is Naomi Merchlin, I think is how you say that, or Nomi, no Mai. I think it's a Spanish name,
no,
maybe.
it's I think she's French.
Oh,
No,
okay.
Noemi Merlant. But
Like,
yeah,
but
it also stars Kit Harington, who from Game of Thrones, and Kit Harington is a damn good actor most of the time. Like in
yeah.
a lot of the stuff he's in, and he did a great job as a father that is just worried, sick, but also frustrated with what's going on. Like I found their relationship in this to be very real.
I thought that this was most realist portray of postpartum that I have ever seen, and I
Hmm.
credit this film for going places that they're afraid to go. There was one scene where a woman is sharing with another woman an incident where she almost caused harm to her child because of postpartum, and that shit is real. And I
Yeah,
have a friend that's on the cusp of giving birth, and let me tell you, this was almost a little too close to home because Scott knows who I'm talking about.
yep,
He happens to know this friend as well. This is something that she's always wanted and is by no stance any knock on her. But the reality is, having a baby is fucking hard.
yeah,
It is fucking hard. And I feel as though we expect women to just have it all together. And when this woman starts to lose it, she starts to lose it. There's a very powerful third act here. And honestly, throughout the film, I was kind of guessing on what was going on. Like it
same.
had me guessing. And I think that the more I sit back on it, the more it sits with me. And I think it has to do with where I am in my life. Very similar, like After Midnight, back when we watched that in 2020, sat with you.
Yeah,
I think with what I'm going through with a friend of mine who's on the verge of giving birth, this movie is going to sit with me and very possibly be in my top 10. Now,
yeah.
do I think it will be in other people's? No, sorry.
I was just gonna say, I'm like, yeah, I could see this being in your top 10 by the end of the year
Right? Especially
because
my
of the
friend is due to give birth as well in April, so it may very much
yeah. I'll say
be
it's like
a movie that
very personal connection to it.
yeah, and it may be a movie I'm able to talk about or not able to talk about. We'll see how this year goes.
Right.
Right. But I do think this is a must watch for people at a 93-minute runtime. You're not wasting your time with it. It will keep you guessing on what's happening. The acting is there. It's available on iTunes, Google, YouTube, Cineplex Odeon here at Cineplex in Canada, and Microsoft Store. So any of those, you can rent it. I think it's worth any rental price.
I was gonna say this is
Like,
one of the better ones, like 8.5 out of 10 for me. Like this is definitely worth a rental. Like especially like if you have any experience being a parent one way or another, like this may have much more of an effect on you. But
absolutely.
Tim Davis, I would love to hear your thoughts on this.
Yeah. And like, I don't know if his wife, and I'm not meaning this insensitively, but I think that women get a lot more pressure
Oh,
than men do.
100%.
Though I do think, and I will say this, I think Tim is a fucking amazing father. Let me make this very clear. I think there's some dads out there that are half-assed. Tim is definitely not one of them. And it'd be interesting for his perspective, and if his wife went through any kind of postpartum, because they have 3 beautiful children, and that's a lot,
Yeah.
And I think that this movie, we need more movies like this, written by women, directed by women, starring women. The same woman wrote it and directed, that are telling women's stories from a true, honest perspective. And I think that's important. Like, I think it's important to have that voice heard. So,
Oh, it really was.
and I don't think it's gonna no one's gonna be offended by this. I think anyone's gonna watch this and be like, unless of course you had postpartum yourself, this may be a little too close to home. So watch with caution if that's the case. But yeah, so far we brought some good heavy hitters to the table, which is what we kind of planned on doing. We have a couple of low balls that we'll talk about, but most of our movies are pretty good that we brought. Now, have you seen this next? Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, because the ones we brought to the table this time, whether good or bad, were ones that just kind of stuck with us for one reason or another. That's why it's just easier to talk about. But
our ones that we felt you should watch. Like, I left out some that were just garbage that I would not even recommend. Yeah, right.
But no, I have not seen this next one. This one is on my list still.
Okay, well, I'll hammer through it then, and you can take over for that next gem that we're going to talk about after this one. So this is a Shudder original. It's called Attachment. It's a 105-minute runtime. Maja, a Danish actress past her prime, falls in love with Leah, a young Jewish academic from London. Leah suffers a mysterious seizures, and Maja returns with her to London. There she meets Leah's mother, an overbearing woman who could hold dark secrets. This movie is quite well acted. It had me till the third act. The third act I thought got a little silly, and I feel like that it was supposed to pull you in. For me, it did not pull me in as much. That being said, I do think it is a decent movie. I do think the relationship horror piece of this is something you'll probably enjoy, Scott. So I suggest watching it.
That's kind of why I wanted to see this, because I knew it was a relationship based.
So I think if you're into relationship horror, if that's something that you enjoy, this movie is definitely worth watching. As I said, it's a Shudder original, so it's available on all the Shutters, but it's also available on AMC and DirecTV. I think if you have it on Shudder, it's worth watching. I don't know if this is a rental for most people unless you really do dig a relationship horror. If you liked Bones and All, After Midnight, The Battery, of like any kind of relationships of people being kind of stuck together and trying to work stuff out, then this will be a movie that you will enjoy.
Yeah, that right there has me like excited.
Yeah, I think you'll like it for that purpose, Scotty.
All right. So yeah, I'll definitely try watching that over the weekend. So the next one, this is one of those where we do not recommend. Folks, do not watch this. I already told Rob Humphrey don't watch this, so because I knew when I told him don't watch it that he would watch it. So I told him don't watch it just because I knew he would do the exact opposite, and I want to make him suffer for that. But I don't know if he actually has watched it yet or not. But this movie is called #Float. When a vlogger and her crew embark on their annual river float to commemorate the untimely loss of their friend, they are plunged into a life and death battle with a mysterious local, a sinister paranormal force, and their own fears. God, this movie was painful.
This movie was horrible.
Every character in this was despicable, and I think I've said this before, but it felt like an alien was trying to pretend to be human and decided to write human interactions for this script and did not get it at all, because these people are just doing the dumbest fucking shit and making the dumbest fucking decisions ever. Like I thought in Snow Falls dumb decisions were made, but in this one there were just some really fucking dumb, boneheaded decisions and just piece of shit characters. That, yeah, I cared nothing for this film. I cared for nobody to survive. The young parents in this are fucking awful and
Mm-hmm.
so dumb, and the main character you're supposed to care for, like, oh, friends died, or no, oh, someone went missing, maybe we should wait for him. Ah, no, let's just keep floating down the river. What? This, like, why would you just, no, if you're supposed to be that close of friends, I don't give a fuck who you are, but if you're that close of friends and all of a sudden someone doesn't show back up, especially this particular character doesn't show back up, you're going to be helping look for this person. You're not going
Or
to just be like, oh, I'm going to float.
what if you fall through a tube and disappear and no one else looks for you? It can't, like, takes you 10 minutes to figure out where the person went.
Right. Like, what?
Yeah, this movie was dreadful. It was, and you can have a micro budget movie. We're going to talk about one after this one that was smaller budget that did a really good job, and it was a creature feature. Nothing could have saved this film. Nothing.
No.
It was boring. We're not going to tell you where you should watch it because we don't think you should. So
No.
don't watch it. Is our advice.
Rob Humphrey, if you haven't watched it yet, don't watch it. Don't watch it. Remember, Scotty said, don't watch it. I didn't recommend it. In other words, watch it, you son of a bitch, because I know you will.
And then he'll be like, you said it was your number one. And or he'll be like, it was actually a 2022 because it was released at this one film festival that no one else knows about. And that means that I can't count it as a 2023 because my name's Rob Humphrey. You know why? Because he thinks he's so cool because he interviews famous people.
And I mean, he is pretty cool.
And stuff. No, he's not. Don't say he's cool. You know what? He won't even, like, go on a date with me. Like, I don't understand. Is it just because I'm not 21? An American?
Yeah. Well, especially the American part.
Yeah, it's true. He's a proud American. He's like Canadian. Ugh, get that garbage out of here.
He loves drinking his Pabst Blue Ribbon, carrying his big old guns around with him everywhere he goes on the beach, wearing his Crocs. You can't tell him what to do. He's a freedom eagle.
So a little bit of a backstory here. So we have a little chat group with Rob Humphreys from Slasher Radio and This Horror Life, as well as Tim and Daniel for Dummies of Horror. And I presented that Rob's this big Trump supporter, and Rob will play into it. So I think Tim actually thought that Rob was a Trump supporter, which is really funny. But anyway. #float, #no. But
hashtag save yourselves.
Don't bother. But one that was actually quite decent was called Cryptid. And this is a 114-minute runtime. A small rural town in Maine is shocked as a mysterious animal leaves the local residents brutally ripped apart. Deemed to be a random bear attack by town officials, freelance journalist Max Fromm suspects it might be something more. Scotty, what were your thoughts on this one?
I thought this was a pretty entertaining creature feature. Thought the acting was pretty damn good in a lot of scenes. They did a great job with hiding the creature in the shadows to use their budget wisely. However, I don't know if it was because I was watching it on my phone or not, but it did seem like it was really, really, really dark when the creature was on screen, so I had a hard time even seeing.
Yeah, they did keep it dark. But I think they did that to keep it, like, hidden kind of thing, right?
Right, and I kind of wish I would have seen a little bit more of it. It only seems like I got, like, an outline of what the creature looked like for the most part.
Fair enough.
My one complaint is I felt it just kind of went on for a little too long because it was like an hour and 45 or something like that. Or no, it was almost 2 hours. It was 116 minutes, if I remember correctly. And I was going, every time I touched the screen, because I had to pause it to go do something and work, I was like, no way do I still have that much time left for a creature feature? Really?
Yeah, it overstayed its welcome a little bit, for sure.
But I still found it to be good. Like, it had, like, a good story behind it, like an interesting creature design from what I could see, and, like, from the story they gave of it and everything like that. Like, it was definitely a fun watch.
I agree. I think this was, if you're looking at doing a low budget film and you want to see one that used their budget well, I think this is a good suggestion. Do I think this is going to be on anyone's top 10? No, it's not. But we had someone accusing myself of having very limited knowledge of movies recently because I did not care for Skinamarink.
Yeah, that's right.
And I was told maybe if I just watched as many movies as this individual that perhaps I would have a better understanding. Scotty and I do watch a lot of low budget movies, and this is an example of low budget done well.
Yeah.
And I think that they used it effectively. So if you would like to see a low budget creature feature done reasonably well, a little long in the tooth, so be warned, it is available on iTunes, Google, Vudu, YouTube, and Microsoft Store for rent.
Yeah, but I'd say it's worth like $1.99, $2.99 rental for sure. Like I think I gave it like a 6.5, 7 out of 10. Oh, Heather's dying on me.
Sorry, when I have a cold right now. So it's been I've been hacking it up. Well, Scott's had to take the lead a couple of times there. So good job, Scotty. But it's your turn
I'm trying.
anyway.
All right. So the next one, this one we're going to get into a little bit more detail later on. But I had the chance to see Brandon Cronenberg's third directorial film, Infinity Pool. The tagline is "Find out what kind of creature you really are." The synopsis is: while staying at an isolated island resort, James and M are enjoying a perfect vacation of pristine beaches, exceptional staff, and soaking up the sun. But guided by the seductive and mysterious Gabby, they venture outside the resort and find themselves in a culture filled with violence, hedonism, and untold horror. This stars Mia Goth and Alexander Skarsgård as like two of the main characters in this film, and holy hell. So, Dummies of Horror is getting ready to do a Battle of the Scream Queens type, modern day Scream Queens on their next episode coming out, and which will probably be out by the time this is released. And Mia Goth is one of the Scream Queens, and she nails that role of like new female horror icon. Like in the, she just shows her performances in this. She's incredible, absolutely incredible, and shows that she can play sweet and innocent and also insanely crazy. And this story had me just sitting back going, what the fuck? What the fuck? What the hell is going on? What in the fuck's going on here? It is definitely Brandon Cronenberg style. It's very David Cronenberg, absolutely. It's definitely inspired by his father. Like, so if you like those types of films, this is right up your alley. There's some body horror. There's some what is the word I'm trying to look for? Where it's basically talking about something in real life.
Oh, I'm sorry. Social commentary?
Yeah, social commentary. It's got a lot of social commentary to it.
Which is
And
why I like it, because I only like social commentary films.
exactly. And that's why Tim Davis hates it.
Yeah, because Tim's not smart enough to get them.
Exactly, no.
Definitely, that's the problem.
But no, this is I'll say it right now, this is my number one film of the year so far. This is damn near a 10 out of 10 for me. Like I gave it 5 stars, but that's because it's a 9.5, because I never want to give anything a 10 until I've at least given it more time to sit with me and a rewatch. And right now it's at a 9.5. Like this film, Brandon Cronenberg is 3 for 3 with me. Everything he's done has just been amazing. I just so excited to see what else he comes up with.
You know, I couldn't agree more. I know that not everyone's going to be a fan, and that's absolutely fine. You know, like everyone likes what they like, and of course, there's never no judgment. I'm just teasing about Tim. But this, oh wow, wow, how the tide has turned. So I love this film. We'll get into it more in spoilers, but all I can say is if you are a Cronenberg fan, if you like, in my opinion, artistic horror done right, check this out. It is available on Amazon, Google, Vudu, YouTube, Redbox, and it's worth whatever you pay for it. It is a very, very good film. When we get into spoilers, I'll talk about a couple of scenes that really stood out for me, that really pushed this into the category for me that it's in now.
Yeah, same. Like I'm excited to go a little more in depth with this.
Yeah, we'll dive in. We'll dive in. Oh, you got to talk about the next one.
All right. So yeah, okay. So I will bring that up real fast. All right. So the next film that I ended up watching, but Heather had not had a chance to see yet, is called Swallowed. The tagline is "They go down the hatch before they make the trip." Benjamin and Dom have been best friends since they were kids. On their last night together, Dom plans to send Benjamin off with a pocket full of cash, and all he has to do is deliver a package over the border for a friend. ... So this is kind of a more, I would say this is closer to more of a weird thriller than it is horror, but it definitely fits in the horror genre because of what they have to carry across the border. So yeah, it is very well acted. It stars, what's her name? Drawing a blank. Stars Jenna Malone, and it also stars Mark Patton from Nightmare on Elm Street 2, which I'm not sure, but I haven't seen him in anything since Nightmare on Elm Street 2 besides that Scream Queen documentary. And he does a really good job in this. And everybody in this film does a really good job, and it's a very interesting film because it's definitely a road movie in a way, and some weird shit happens. I really can't get into too much there. It's basically drugs that they're smuggling in a way, kind of, sort of. But
Mm-hmm.
but I definitely recommend this one because yeah, like everybody's performances in there are great. The story moves along at a good pace. I enjoyed the story itself. Like it was just really well done. I will give a thing saying there is nudity in this, a lot of male nudity, no female nudity, just a lot of male nudity, and
Finally.
this exactly. And there are
Me and Rob
not
will love it.
exactly lots of penis, which is one thing I love. But there is not a
Fill
single.
me up, Buttercup.
But yeah, there's not a single straight character in this either. This is all like gay and lesbian.
Oh no. Oh my gosh, what?
So
How am I supposed to feel as a straight person if I can't see straight people in a movie? Does that mean that I'm no longer straight, Scott?
it does, Heather. It means that the woke agenda has been pushed upon you.
Oh man. Too bad I can't walk out of my house and see every single other opportunity of straight white people walking around everywhere. It's a shame.
But yeah, like that's one thing I love about this film is like it's literally every character is from the LGBTQ like and it's a story about these characters and like everything they're going through and not and where in most horror films if I remember correctly like the gay guy or the lesbian woman is the good guy or one of the victims.
Yeah,
In this,
typically.
yeah, I'll say besides like back in the '80s when they'd try to be the scare tactics of
Yeah.
homophobes.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
in this one, there's actually one of the villains is a homosexual.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not like making it sound like an evil thing because every character is homosexual in this, and it just works.
Yeah. Well, and it's just showing, it's reflecting our society.
Exactly. It's
Like,
nice to see.
it's finally film is reflecting our society, not just a portion of it.
Right. And it does like where a lot of the time like it may feel like a gay character was shoehorned into a movie. Like
Yeah.
this one, it's just like this was made this way and it's perfect. I loved it. Like it's
I'll be honest, I know what you're meaning by that, like totally. I have never felt that way.
No.
Like I have heard so many people say things like, "Oh man, there's like no black or there's no white people on television anymore." And I'm like, "Do you seriously watch like TV commercials and count the people of different ethnicities that are in that? Like what
Right.
kind of fucking weirdo are you? Like, are you seriously like why does that even matter?
Right.
Why would you even care? Are you that insecure that if a car commercial has one person that's black and let's say one person that is South Asian or whatever, that means that you can't buy that Dodge Ram as a white person?
Right.
Like I'm not quite sure what the equation is with that whole thing, or when different movies come out portraying people that are different than me, why that would bother me. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't understand.
Because I've heard that
You're not like that either. Like you're not like that either. Neither one of us are. Like we don't even. Never has that ever been a topic of conversation that you and I have had ever.
Exactly. And like I say, I've heard several, people throughout like probably especially the last 20 years, I've heard people say that like, oh, they've shoehorned in a character like a gay character or an Asian character or like another ethnicity character.
Yeah.
Or I can see back, especially early on in the early 2000s, some of those characters may have felt shoehorned in just because they would constantly go, "Hey, I'm the gay one." Like they would constantly make reference, like I'm the gay guy. Remember? Like so I can see why they would say shoehorned in there, but it's never bothered me. Like it's
or like the
part of our
black
society.
noir. Remember the noir documentary? How they talked about like the black person was always seen as like the friend or like the sidekick kind of thing. And like was always concerned about the white character, which was like really illustrated. And I think it was Scream 2 because Nev Campbell's roommate is black, right? And I thought that when the people of that ethnic group say it, I'm like, now I believe you because you're telling me. But when like other people of a different ethnic group, particularly white people, say it, I'm like, yeah, your opinion in this means nothing to me. Like, exactly. I don't. I think if you're looking for that, then you have bigger issues, to be honest. Like, I would never watch a movie. Like, I'm glad that this representation's happening on film, and I'm glad that you're telling people about that, but it's sad that we're still at a stage where people, like, almost like you got to say, okay, for everyone that may get upset, There's no straight people in this movie. You know what I mean? Like, it's a shame.
And to be fair, for our audience, I know there's not really anyone like that because they've probably tuned out a long time ago if that was the case because they know our stance. And
it's a good point.
But no, I was giving more a heads up because there was just a lot of male frontal nudity. And,
that's true. There's a lot of dick, so.
A lot of dick, like way more than I.
But if you watch porn, you see all that dick.
Well, it depends on what type of porn you watch, I guess.
Oh, that's true. If you stay away from the dick piece. See, I go for the dick piece.
Well, of course. Right. And that's why I told you, like, Heather, there's a lot of dick in this.
Yes, I know. I'm going to be watching it with pants off. Move out.
Oh, my God.
hey, man. As long as the Woody's there, that's the only inspiration I need. But it looks like a solid movie. I'm glad you watched it and you have good things to say because it does look good.
Yeah, this is definitely something that's worth checking out. I could see this possibly being depending on how the year goes, in my top 20. Like, I found this to be just really interesting, fascinating. It can be found on iTunes, Google Play, Vudu, Amazon, and YouTube. And
awesome.
I think it's worth whatever the price is to rent it.
Awesome. Now, did you get to watch this next one yet?
Let me see what it is.
Project Wolf Hunting?
Nope. No, this is another one on my list.
Oh, so now again, South Korea does it again with Project Wolf Hunting. This is a 122-minute runtime, a floating hell with no escape. While under heavily armed guard, the dangerous convicts aboard a cargo ship unite in a coordinated escape attempt that soon escalates into a bloody all-out riot, and does it ever. But as the fugitives continue their brutal campaign of terror, they soon discover that not even the most vicious among them is safe from the horror they unknowingly unleashed from the darkness below. All I can say about this movie is fuck yeah. Fuck yeah, this movie's good. This is a incredible South Korean film. If you like Train to Busan, if you like other gory Korean films that have come out, I don't know. You name it, you're going to like it. If you liked #Alive, which I don't believe was Korean, but if you like those kind of films, you're going to fucking love this. This is gory. It's intense. It doesn't overstay its welcome, and it's definitely going to be in contenders for some people's top 10 lists of the year. This movie is worth renting. Pay whatever you need to pay for it. You like gore. You like fucking, claustrophobic horror. This movie is for you. It is on Amazon Prime, iTunes, Google, Hoopla, and YouTube. Pay whatever price. You will not be disappointed. South Korea hits it out of the park again.
I cannot wait to see this. This is one that I really want to check out.
Yeah, man. South Korean films. Mwah.
Yeah.
Always. Always. I have yet to see a shitty South Korean film. I'm sure they exist. I just haven't seen one.
Yeah, like the worst one that I can remember is Peninsula. That wasn't even that bad.
Yeah, and that's not even, I wouldn't even consider that compared to some other shit, right?
Right.
And the next one's Me Too.
It is.
So I managed to get tickets to a special screening of Winnie the Pooh fucking Blood and Honey, baby.
Yeah.
This movie
one of your most anticipated.
That's right. This movie was an 84-minute runtime. This ain't no bedtime story. Christopher Robbins is headed off to college and he has abandoned his old friends, Pooh and Piglet, which lead to the duo embracing their inner monsters. So I'm going to talk about this in generalities. First off, it is low budget. So be prepared when you go into this film that it is a low budget film. It is actually filmed in England, in the Sussex woods, where the original story was based.
Oh, nice.
Yes. It follows the book, not the Disney cartoon, in terms of the characters that are in it. It is a very, very fun slasher. I would say the first opening is chef's kiss. But I will say that it kind of dips a little bit like most low budgets do. And then the third act is just fucking balls to the wall. Scott is staring at his cat the way I wish a man would stare at me. It is honestly like pretty sweet.
She's my baby.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to be sick. It's so adorable. I'm going to tell the beautiful lady about the way that you're staring at that cat.
Oh, she understands Stormy and Stormy's ways. Stormy demands attention. Yeah.
With her little poofy tail.
Oh, she demands the loves, and you got to give it to her, or she will get angry.
I don't know. Some people shit on this movie. Fuck you, people. This movie was fucking awesome. Rob Humphreys loved it. I loved it. It's a slasher. It's gory. Great practical effects. Awards for best kill could be given by me for this movie. You're a horror fan. You know what you're getting into when you watch this film. Watch it. Try to find a way to rent it. Go to the theater if it's near you. You will not be disappointed. Winnie the Pooh, fucking Blood and Honey. Fuck yeah.
I
Bring that
cannot
bitch
wait.
on. Yeah,
I,
it's fun, Scott. It's fun.
yeah, I definitely look forward to checking this one out as soon as it's available.
Like this isn't a spoiler, it's just part of the thing. So there's parts where he's stuffing honey into his poo mask face and it's like it down and shit. And it's really fucking funny. Like it is entertaining. It is an entertaining film. So
Oh, that's great.
yeah.
All right, so I can do the next one because I just finished this one this morning, and I know you went to the theater and seen this one. So the next one is M. Night Shyamalan's Knock at the Cabin. Tagline is "Save your family or save humanity. Make the choice." While vacationing at a remote cabin, a young girl and her parents are taken hostage by four armed strangers who demand that the family make an unthinkable choice to avert the apocalypse. With limited access to the outside world, the family must decide what they believe before all is lost. This stars Dave Bautista, and I don't recognize anybody else, but I'll give their names as well. Jonathan Groff, Ben Aldridge, and Kristen Cui. Man, wow. Okay, so I know Heather's thoughts on this because she talked about it after she watched it.
Mm-hmm.
This was a good M. Night Shyamalan film. Like
Yep.
best one since The Visit for me. And Dave Bautista just proves that he is actually a legit good actor.
Absolutely.
Like he's not just Drax that just says stupid one-liners and is the big dumb oaf in Guardians of the Galaxy. This guy can play some serious roles and he does an amazing job, and also is just because he's Dave Bautista, he's intimidating as shit just because of his size. But yeah, this film went places I was not sure, like because it's M. Night Shyamalan, I was always looking for the twist, and so I wasn't
Wait,
sure.
a twist.
A twist. But I was not sure if or when it was coming. I will not say if it does or not. But the whole story had me very intrigued. I was wondering what was going on the entire time, like if what they were saying is real or whatnot. Like, how do you believe these people and this and that? But yeah, I really dug this film a lot.
This film, I like majority of M. Long Chong Long and Ding Dong movies. I am not seeing The Lady in the Water or Lady in the Water, and I have not seen The Happening. The rest of his films I've seen, and I liked all of them. I even liked Devil, the one in the elevator. I thought that
I
was
still have to
actually
see
was really
that one.
cool. I really like that one. Old, I did not enjoy as much.
It was still decent.
It was decent, but this brought it back for me. I was enthralled. The family acting, like I bought into this family. The little girl was incredible for it being her first film. Very, very good movie. Excellently well done. Watch this in theaters. Rent it. I don't care how you have to watch it. Watch it. I really fucking enjoyed it.
Yeah,
Nothing but praise.
this was really good and makes me want to read the book that this is based off of, The Cabin at the End of the World. So I almost bought this while I was at the airport because I seen it was there, but I already had a couple books on me.
And
But
did you read while you were away?
I finished one entire book on the airplane ride and got halfway through another one on the cruise.
Very impressive. Very impressive.
Yeah, and but I'll probably talk about those during the vacation part, like when I talk about the vacation briefly.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, this one is definitely a very high recommend for me. Like I loved it. I thought it was great. Like this could be top 10 contender depending on how the year goes.
It will be in my top 10. I don't think anything will knock it out.
Nice.
It will be. It will be. That it just hit me. It was the relationship between the parents and the child that did it in for me. I just bought into them so much.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you want to take the next one? I'll say you and I both watched this, I think, right?
Yeah, I think we both did. So this was recommended by Tim Davis. Carnifex. It's a 93-minute runtime. Some species should remain extinct. An aspiring documentarian and two conservationists who venture into the outback to record animals displaced by bushfires where they discover a terrifying new species. Horror for Dummies did a really great job of talking about this.
Dummies of Horror.
Sorry, Dummies of Horror. Sorry, guys. I always fuck that up. But I thought this movie was absolutely fabulous. I really, really did enjoy it. I think for a low budget film based on a legend creature, I thought it was really entertaining. I found it easy to sit through, easy to watch. I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Yeah, I'll say the same. I was gonna say this is because I watched this and then Cryptid right afterwards, and I think this is better than Cryptid, and it's about the same style budget. But I think that's just because it was short and to the point. It didn't drag out nearly as long, and I seen the creature a little more. I mean, it's still once again they use their practical effects or they use their money wisely and their effects wisely and hid the creature in the shadows a lot. But the one thing I loved about this was just the realistic style of talking about how what these brush fires and what tearing down the rainforest and tearing down the forests actually does. It displaces certain species and forces them to find new homes. Unfortunately, sometimes when they're forced to find new homes because they're running out of space, they run into a predator's domain that has been, and then that's where they, fail to survive, or vice versa. The predator is forced to find a new home and takes over another territory and like can wipe out a species that help unfortunately cause endangerment and extinction of certain species of animal. I thought this was a very good take on that type of discussion in a horror film.
Agreed. I thought this was very, very well done. Very good ecological horror. We don't see a lot of good ecological horror films, to be honest with you, and this one was quite well done. So
Yeah,
we watched a screener. It is not available in Canada right now for rent. Hopefully, this will be something that drops on the Shuddy, or will become available. Is it available in the United States, Scott?
I am looking it up right now. Let's see. Nope, not available yet.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll see that drop soon so other people can watch it as well. The final movie that we're going to talk about is Play Dead. This is a 106-minute runtime. Some things are worse than being dead. Criminology student Chloe, she's not a criminologist, but that's fine, fakes her own death to break into a morgue in order to retrieve a piece of evidence that ties her younger brother to a crime gone wrong. Once inside, she just discovers that the statistic coroner is using corpuses for his sick and twisted business. Well, it's not really that sick or twisted, but when he realizes that Chloe still is appalled, a terrifying game of cat and mouse ensters. I actually really enjoyed this film. I thought it was really entertaining. It was also a screener that we watched.
I didn't
This
see this
young
one yet.
this well, yeah, and we have access to it, so you'll be able to, I guess, watch it if you want to.
I will.
I recommend it. It's easy to watch at work. It's a good game of cat and mouse. Like if you like a movie theme based on someone being chased and having to fight back, it's entertaining. Jerry O'Connor's in it,
Oh,
which I did
nice.
enjoy. Yeah, I thought he was great. The main girl I thought was a pretty good actress in it. She was also in Don't Be Afraid of the Dark, The Strangers, Pray at Night. I think she was the I don't know who she was in The Strangers Pray at Night. Maybe she was the teenager, but yeah, she's quite good. I enjoyed her in this. So yeah, I would definitely recommend checking this out when it becomes available. I would say $3.99, $5.99 rental is fair, or if it's available on the Shuddy, and that is called Play Dead. Watch for it coming out later this year.
Nice. Yeah, I will definitely check this one out as soon as I can. Maybe tomorrow at work.
Yeah, yeah. I look forward to hearing your thoughts on it.
All right, so I guess we are jumping on into the older watches.
Well, I'll
Uh,
go. You want me to go so you can do yours?
yeah.
Okay, I'll just go really quick. So,
Mm.
Shock Faint, I had never seen Shivers before.
From David Cronenberg's
David
first
Cronenberg's,
film.
yeah, 1975. So I reviewed this on Slumber Party Massacre, which is my other side chick podcast, and I talked about how I want to live in this apartment complex because all they do is fuck. Like everyone just fucks each other.
They sure do.
Fuck, man. Like, why can't I move there? That looks great. I don't understand why they were upset.
Well, I mean, it's because they were like infected by a weird
Shit, I don't give a shit.
parasite. I mean, alien
Nah.
parasite that, I can see
Like-
why they were complaining.
No, they're all coming and shit. I would just been happy. I mean, imagine what that's like. Just go apartment to apartment banging each other, and you're all like lustful and shit. Anyway, I thought this movie was sexy as fuck. The other ladies didn't like it as much as I did, which probably says something about me as a person. But I thought it was a cool concept. David Cronenberg, as always, I love how he never shies away from, being filmed in Canada, being filmed right outside of Montreal. I love the concept of how, it turned people into basically these violent, sex-craved people. And at the end, the one guy kind of makes it, but then he has the I guess whatever it calls the alien slug thing passed to him through the chicks in the pool, and then they're all leaving the complex to go and spread it out through the world. I thought it was cool, and obviously it was trying to say something about sexual freedom and stuff like that in the 70s. And something that I want to point out, there's a scene where two ladies make out. I said to the ladies, I'm like, I get that that's not a big deal now, but in 1975, that would have been.
Yeah.
There were scenes in this, like where the father and the daughter make out, and other things that would have been like we are so desensitized to that shit as horror fans that it doesn't matter anymore. But in 1975, that shit would have been fucking shocking. So Cronenberg was long ahead of his time. So I enjoyed it for what it was for a 1975 film, and I encourage other people to watch it if they haven't yet.
Yeah, this is I watched this on FearNet when that was a channel way back in the day, and that was my introduction to it. And I have to say, this is one of my top 3 favorite Cronenberg films. I love this movie a lot.
Nice. It's cool. It's a really cool film. But yeah, check it out. If you haven't had a chance to, check it out, people. Now, Scott has some gems he needs to bring to the table.
All right, well, before I get to the gems, all right, I got to be very serious here for a second. It is with a very heavy heart here that your host, Scott Smokeshow Crawford, needs to acknowledge that he's got an addiction. It's an addiction that is really starting to hurt the ones that he loves. And I just have to say, I'm truly sorry. My girlfriend, she's such a lovely, lovely woman. She stuck through this with me to the end. And I just mainly want to apologize to her because my addiction is I'm addicted to really terrible and shitty movies that I find on Tubi. And when we did our Tubi Tuesday date night, I submitted this poor, beautiful soul, this beautiful lady, to an atrocity that is known as the Pool Party Massacre. Baby, if you're hearing this, I'm sorry, and I love you, and I will never do this to you again. I know I am now banned from doing Tubi movies, but I promise I will make this up to you in the end. I promise. And to all of our listeners, I'm sorry I've ever put you through the bad movies that I watch. This is with the deepest, sincerest of all hearts. I love you all, and I will do better. I promise.
You're making false promises. First off, I've been putting up with this shit a lot longer than she has. Second of all, it's all right, Erica. You can call me. Hashtag steal Scotty's girl. Okay, I'm looking at the pictures right now. What made you think this was a good movie to pick? This looks like a porno. Erica, so I spoke to Erica, by the way, because are we using her name? Is that okay?
I did ask, and she said that,
okay. She's not afraid to be seen with you or have your name associated.
She might be now. After this movie, she may be.
After she was like, I was fine with you using my name, and now, like, and she was like, oh, it was like all the porn stars didn't get work or something like that. She's 100% right. This looks like a bunch of porn stars. Like, there's a scene where a guy's sitting on the toilet. It looks like a toilet, and there's blood around him. And then there's like just some chick with like her titties out. Like, what the fuck? Now this looks like a film that Rob Humphrey would like because these girls all look about like 18, 21, wink, wink. But like, what the fuck is this shit that you made her watch? What the fuck?
It was the poster art. The poster art, I had seen it floating around Facebook for quite a few years. I think due to me writing for Pop Horror, it was a lot of friends that interviewed and promoted and reviewed this movie, and I had never gotten around to watching it.
No, so there is no way other people promoted this movie.
Yeah, Pop Horror promoted it. I know that much. They were doing giveaways for the Blu-ray and stuff like that too, like contests.
They were giving this away? Why?
Probably because they were friends with the director and some of the actors or whatever.
Okay.
Fair enough. Just help promoting the movie. Like, because they like Pop Horror is all about promoting independent horror films. So I'd seen the poster floating around forever, and I'd seen a lot of the writers talking about how they praised it and thought it was just a fun, entertaining movie. So I was like, "Oh shit, it's on Tubi! I'm gonna pick this for our watch because why
would you do that?
Because I thought it would be
like, do you want her to break up with you? I don't understand.
I thought it would be low budget fun that we could make fun of.
Oh no,
and no, movie...
you should know better.
No, I was hoping for a weredeer, Heather. A weredeer.
A weredeer was just good to you. No one else thinks
no
weredeer
one else
is good.
Watched it. So how do I know that? You refused to watch it, so I don't want to hear your lip about that. But no, I was hoping for something just dumb and silly, and oh god, it was so fucking painful. Like I kept apologizing to Erica over and over again, going, "Baby, I'm sorry."
Why didn't you guys shut it off? Why didn't you shut it off and go
Because
select
we're
something else?
determined.
What the fuck is wrong? You know what? She's half to blame. Erica, you should have told him. This is Heather giving you some real talk, Erica. And you should have said, Scotty, too hotty.
No.
You need to stop this fucking movie and we need to watch something else. Or did you guys really need to see what happened and who the killer was? Was it really unobvious who the killer was at the pool party massacre?
Yes, it was. Like there was a lot of red herrings. I will give it that. But the red herrings were terrible. And the reveal of the killer was dumb. But everything about this movie was dumb. But I think what it was is we're like, shit, we're about halfway through this. Let's see this train wreck all the way through.
Oh my gosh. Hopefully she feels the same way about this relationship. Just kidding. That'd be if she was in a relationship with me. Then it'd be a real train wreck. She's like, all Heather wants to do is get drunk all the time and go find cock. You'd be like, yeah, that's
typical Heather.
That's it. In the summer, she smokes a lot of pot because she doesn't like to smoke outside because it's wintertime right now. And she wants to eat nachos yeah, it's a thing.
She's got a problem.
She's got a problem, right? So it looks like you are the better alternative for now. But I see she chose a movie that I spoke about on this podcast.
Yes, yes, because I even put in our chat group with Brandon because I knew either you or Brandon.
Did you do this movie that my podcast partner that brought it to discussion?
Okay, let me finish.
It was during the dark time, so you probably don't remember.
Oh, they'd be 4 times.
Yes, yes.
But no, like I couldn't remember if Brandon had mentioned this as one of the 2023s, so that's why I was asking him because I didn't know if I could add it to 2023. So I thought it was one he had brought up, but it ended up being you that talked about it on our podcast in 2022, and that is the sleep experiment. And yep, Erica chose this one, and yeah, she is. I am happily forfeiting the ability to choose movies because, yep, she chose wonderfully again.
Thank God.
Like, she chose a good one. I was glued to the screen the entire time, but this is about I think it's about the Russian sleep experiment. And
it is, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so it's, these prisoners are put in this room that have to stay awake for 30 days, and they are forced to stay awake by this gas that is taking away their melatonin and all this, and obviously the effects of not sleeping and what can go wrong, and a lot of shit goes wrong. This was very well acted, very tense, very just dark and disturbing, and the reveal at the end of this, finding out what else this doctor has done, was kind of like horrifying to way to end this movie. But yeah, this movie was excellent. I wish I would have watched it last year. I wish I would have listened to you and watched it last year because it would have definitely made it.
No, you should have listened to me about a lot of things last
year. True.
This movie is just one of them.
Very true.
But that's okay. You're righting the wrongs, and now you saw it, and now, thank God, she's going to stop you from choosing garbage like Pool Party Massacre.
Until I can at least make amends and pick good movies again.
Oh, well, that's never going to happen, Erica.
Hey.
So just...
Hey.
You picked a good woman, and that's all that matters.
More like the good woman picked me.
Well, you probably picked each other. Can we not... No, you complete me! No, you complete me! Man, we just broke so many dudes' hearts. With you dropping, first that you're dating, now that she's your girlfriend, have you thought about the repercussions? Because, no one likes me. They all like you. And I'm not even going to get sloppy seconds out of the whole thing.
I know Tim Davis was heartbroken when he heard that I was dating. He was devastated. He called me out in our chat group. And I told him, don't worry, boo. She knows about you. And he'll always still get the raging Scott Crawford.
You're like, he'll always be my baby. It's like you're singing the Mariah Carey song to him.
Doodaloo, yeah. Doodaloo-da-da.
That's you right now. But I'm glad you have this tradition to watch it To Be Tuesdays. I think that's really cute. And I'm glad that she's going to make sure you don't pick shitty movies anymore.
At least for now.
Too bad she wasn't around when we were picking movies, and she could have probably prevented me from picking that Prime Night piece of shit that I picked a couple of years ago. I know.
Yeah.
That was a mistake. That was a mistake.
Yeah, that one I will still hold against you for a long time.
what was the movie you and I watched together? We were super confused. We watched it virtually. I can't remember what it was now. And I remember we were both like, we took pictures of our faces being trying to understand what was going on. It was years ago. I would have to look back at my Facebook
Yeah, I
memories,
don't
but I
even remember.
and you and I, oh, and the advent calendar was really funny when we watched it with Brandon. We just yelled croissant, croissant, baguette,
Oh,
baguette.
man, what was it?
But I guess that concludes our older watches. So we'll jump into what's new. I'll be quick because Scott has his vacation to talk about. I watched a new series on Netflix called My Lover, My Killer. It's a UK series. And the reason why I watched it was because the first story was based out of Newcastle.
Of course. Did you guys know she went to Newcastle?
But get this, Scott. So she moved, the girl that was killed. This is actually quite tragic. She moved into Gateshead on the same street where my friend Carolyn and Mark lives.
Oh, wow.
Because I'm looking at where the crime scene was and I'm like, so I messaged Carolyn and I'm like, I get the girl's name. I'm like, what's that? She's like, oh yeah, that happened down the street from me like 4 years ago. I'm like, what? So I had been in that neighborhood where this murder occurred.
Wow.
So it's basically about domestic violence gone wrong, as we all know it can do, and it's a UK series. It's a little cheesy, I'm not gonna lie. Once I got through the first couple of episodes, I kind of got bored of it, but I did find the first couple of episodes interesting. If you're looking for something that's true crime on Netflix, it is called My Lover, My Killer. Now, Scott's going to talk about his vacation.
Yeah, so, just because you guys probably didn't know, but I went on a vacation.
It's not as impressive as going to the UK, though. And then the street that you were staying on ends up being in a true crime doc. But
that is true. That is true. I did get to see a Mono monkey, though.
Oh, did you make the monkey Mona?
He moaned my name. Yeah. But,
and that's when Erica broke up with Scott.
But yeah, now I'll kind of start from the beginning. But yeah, we landed in San Juan, Puerto Rico, and got to spend an entire day out there. And holy shit, I would love to live in San Juan. That place is beautiful and just has so many cool places to see. And there's still a lot. I would like to go back just because I know there's still a ton to do just there. That place was amazing. Got to try some unique foods there, and then we got on the cruise ship, and oh boy, Scotty was in heaven on this cruise ship. This thing was 11 stories tall. I had a suite room with a suite room with a balcony that you could look out and just sit out there and just stare at the ocean or stare at the island that you were ported at or whatever. So nice and relaxing. Scotty boy here relaxed it up like crazy, enjoying tons of yum yum drinks because I had the classic drink package, so all the alcohol was free besides wine. And I tried all sorts of different kinds. I tried a Hurricane. I tried Miami Vice, thanks to Heather's recommendation. Tried a Mai Tai. Had a Long Beach iced tea, and then my go-to drink was Amaretto Sours. I started drinking those so much that the Ukrainian bartender recognized me and was just like, Mr. Crawford, Amaretto Sour? I'm like, damn right, George, damn right.
Mr. Crawford.
Yeah, they always would say Sir or Mr. Crawford or Miss Crawford or Miss Duchesne or not Miss Duchesne, Miss James, as my mom.
They didn't want to be like Mr. Smokeshow.
They didn't know the true me yet.
Fair enough.
But yeah, the ship was amazing. The food was incredible. I had lots of fancy dishes, had escargot and stuff like that. Yum. Got to go to 5 different islands. We went to British Virgin Island. We went to...
Oh, it's the first time you've visited a virgin in a while.
Oh, ho, 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 ho.
Not the first time for Rob Humphreys, though.
Yeah.
Right, Rob? Anyway.
But then I went to St. Martin, then to Dominica, then to Barbados, then Grenada. Barbados, we didn't really go adventuring out. We just kind of stayed in the port because that was a day where we were just exhausted from all the stuff we did the day before. So we just
all the drinking.
That. Well, for me, yes. Parents didn't drink at all. But
why?
Well, I mean, my brother passed away from alcoholism, so it's kind of something they avoid.
Yeah, it's pretty insensitive of me to say that. Good thing I wasn't there. I'd be drunk the entire time.
But I never got drunk. I kept a nice buzz going throughout the day, just enough to make me feel relaxed and just enjoy. But yeah, I got to see such beautiful sights. The rainforest in Dominica was amazing. Yeah, and then I got to see iguanas just running around freely in St. Martin, just all over the damn place. I so wanted to pick one up and take one home. Then yeah, in Grenada is where I ran into that Mono monkey just kind of hanging out in the tree, just staring at me and just not giving a shit about people. He basically had the fuck around and find out look on his eyes. But yeah, I ended up just having an amazing, relaxing time. I read some books while out in the balcony, just like soaking up some sun, listening to the waves of the ocean. Erica had loaned me this amazing book called Yellow Star that is basically a 200 something page poem about internment camps during World War II.
Oh,
And,
some nice light reading.
yes, but no, but it was basically this woman's story from when she was a child and what like everything that she's seen while living in these camps. And it's an easy read. Like I blew through the entire thing while I was on my plane ride, like to the trip. And then I let my mom borrow it. She blew through it and read it. And then she let Wayne borrow it, and he blew through it and read it. Like all three of us read it on our vacation. And yeah,
Wow.
very amazing book. And
Well, it's like the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, only a book.
right. And then I started reading one called Final Girl Support Group. And
Nice.
I'm about halfway through it right now. And that one, I will talk more about it when I finish it, like in our What's New segment. But that one is really entertaining so far, and definitely like a lot of nods to horror films that we all know and love.
Nice.
But yeah, like I just had a great time. I was thankfully able to still have signal, so I was able to like still chat with Erica. I was able to chat with you guys a little bit.
And
as I chat with you guys, you and Brandon. Like we even had some nice chats, and then even chatted with my cousin and my roommate who was taking care of my pets. And so like it was good. I'm glad to be home. Like I was ready by the time like the last day showed up, but was not ready to come back to this weather because it was beautiful and 82 to 85 degrees every single day. And yeah, Scotty, the golden god now, because I got quite a tan now and love it. And yeah, just had such an amazing time with an amazing experience. I so recommend doing cruises, especially if you're the type that does not get motion sick. Thankfully, I was not, so I just had a blast and thinking, oh, the boat's moving. Or am I drunk? I'm not sure. Oh, well, and just keep
who
going with my day.
cares? Woo!
Yeah,
I'm so glad you had fun, my friend.
thank you. Yeah, because we even got to see like musicals, stand-up comedians, and stuff like that on the boat because there was a lot of live entertainment. Like, yeah, this was just an amazing experience, and I came back fully just relaxed and very zen-like. Like it
Very
was
zen.
really neat.
Well, maybe next time you go, you'll be able to take a lady friend.
I'm hoping so.
You know, like Tim Davis.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping.
Yeah. Or
Yeah. Larry Davis.
Larry Davis.
But there is one thing I did want to bring up. Now, this, I was joking earlier with the sad somberness, but this is a little bit of sad news that happened. I found out while I was on my cruise. I have brought this show up several times on here, but it's the Neebs Gaming podcast, or just Neebs Gaming with their YouTube channel, and they do a podcast. I think I had brought him up before, but one of the members, Thick44, had been dealing with brain cancer and fighting that battle, and unfortunately, he had lost the battle, and like left a lot of people completely heartbroken, and left two beautiful daughters behind, like two young daughters and his girlfriend. He was young, like he was my age, like so that's just kind of really sad to see that they went down that it went down that road for him. And the Neebs Gaming crew ended up doing a podcast dedicated to him, and they just talked about a lot of the fond memories of everything like that he does, like that he did in the games and that he did in real life, and how like big of an impact he had on everyone. And like what did they say, because he was notorious in the video games too, where everybody else is working as a team, Thick would just run off and just disappear because he would be considered the loot goblin. He would go and just loot houses, loot everything in the games, and then they go, everybody else would go to adventure. They're going, God damn it, we've been thicked. The house has been looted already. Damn it, Thick, blah, 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 blah. So one of the things they said at the very end of the podcast was, Thick is now up in heaven looting the place.
He's definitely on his own adventure. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Scott, and rest in peace and mad respect to this person, Thick.
Yep. I think his real name was Tony Schnur, but like that was his gaming and podcast name, Thick44.
And fuck, cancer's a bitch. Fuck you, cancer. Fuck you.
When I heard that news, it devastated me because it's not like a celebrity where, I don't really get to know them. I get to know a character they portray. Where with this, it's, I never interacted with them in real, like throughout virtually or anything like that. But Neebs Gaming and them every character there had gotten me through a lot of hard times, like especially when I was dealing with like loneliness and depression. That was what I watched as my comfort stuff that got me through. So it was a bit heartbreaking to hear that news.
Well, much love to everyone at that podcast and to their family and friends and going through this. And I'm glad you could shout them out. I think that's important.
Yeah, like I was saying, I needed to, especially after bringing them up a couple different times on this show now.
Well, now that we passed the serious part, we'll get back to making fun of Scott very soon.
Yes.
But first, we're going to, for Out of the Dark. So Scott made a poster of our thoughts on Skinamarink. And this poster went viral. Podcasters have shared it on their personal page. I was just listening to Kill the Cast, and Jerry Herring shares it on any page he goes to where people are talking about Skinamarink. You probably saw it on the Friday Night Facebook page. So we thought we'd do a little spoiler review on Skinamarink and Infinity Pool. So if for some reason you have not seen those two movies, you may want to skip over this section for this episode because we will be discussing spoilers. Yes. So we'll start off with Skinamarink. And the reason why we chose these two movies is because Scott and I would consider them at this point the best and the worst of 2023 for us personally. And the critique that we have of either one, I don't think either one is perfect, but I do think one of them, particularly, is Skinamarink. I don't think that's any shock there. Both are Canadian, made by Canadian filmmakers. And I think Skinamarink tried to do something really innovative. Mm-hmm. And I really enjoyed the Kill the Cast episode that just dropped today. So when you're listening to this episode, I guess it would have dropped a week ago. Should listen to Jerry's review and Kenneth's review and Jay's review. It's actually quite good. This movie had a lot of potential to be interesting. My critique of it was too long. It should have been more selective with the shots that it did. If it was trying to simulate a child's nightmare, it could have done so in a more clear way. It was very hard to hear what was going on, and it was hard to stay engaged. But I do think that the concept was interesting. This should have been a short. Scott, what do you think?
Yeah, like people know that I've ragged on this film over and over again, and I've shown my disdain for it. And that is, I know this film only had a $15,000 budget, so really micro budget. And I'm very happy to see that it made like was a 1.8 million in the weekend run that it had in theaters. However, yeah, like you said, this should have been a short film, like maybe a 20-minute tops short film. Because there was not much going on in this film. Like, there is no real story. Like, what I've heard someone describe it, and I agree with this. It was a experimental horror experience. It wasn't a story. It was something you just had to experience and just kind of like put yourself in those kids' shoes. I get that, and I get what the director was trying to do there, and what everything, but you cannot make an hour and 50 long minute movie of just still shots of staring at corners or staring at a TV playing old cartoons and like have these little kids talking about like this level of volume and you can barely understand what they're saying and not having much dialogue. It's to some, I heard it was very effective, which is awesome. I'm glad to hear that because, and their horror films are made for all different walks of life and will affect everybody differently. But I found this to be a chore. Like it was, like I joked and said it's like watching paint dry. I ain't kidding. I would have basically, it felt like I was watching paint dry.
I did also wonder why there were so many feet in this movie. That was actually a legit question I had. I think really, here's the thing. We watch lots of low budget films. Scott and I had given lots of low budget films their time in the spotlight. We've had low budget films in our top 10 list that when people say haven't heard anyone talk about, I know for a fact people haven't talked about.
Right.
So like Scott and I, for example, Live Scream.
Yeah.
We pushed the fuck out of that movie. And that was, you could compare that budget to Skinamarink. It was not that high.
Right.
Here's the issue here. A low budget doesn't give you the right, and that because you slap artistic on it, to say it's a good film. Or my other argument that I hear people say, well, it's better than, we had somebody tell us that it was better than Barbarian. Objectively, you cannot tell me Skinamarink is better than Barbarian. You may prefer Skinamarink to Barbarian, But objectively, you cannot say that it is a butter made film because it is not.
No,
It is not. It's not.
Barbarian, for one, has the budget behind it,
Right?
which makes it so you can have a better made film.
Now, that being said, I do think Skinamarink had something going for it. I do appreciate the artistic approach that this director took. I do think there was a chance here, but to think that you can pull $15,000 out of this long drawn out shot movie of an hour and 50 minutes is, to me, a very naive way to think, because you may have done this now and you think people are going to come back for it a second time. People are running on this. Some people may have truly enjoyed it, but some people are just doing it because it makes them look edgy. We're part of enough horror groups out there that some people like to just say shit about horror films so they look like they're deeper than other people. And you know, like, what you like is what you like. You know,
Yeah.
like, honestly, I'm not a huge fan of the remake of Suspiria, but I would never sit back and be like, that's a shitty film. It's just not for me.
Right.
Like, but it doesn't mean it's not beautiful, well made, all those things. It doesn't mean any of those things. I wasn't a big fan of Pearl, but I can still step back and go, that's an incredibly well-made movie, and I see why people like it. And I feel like we need to stop as horror fans feeling the need to put down others because they don't like a movie that we like, to start off with. Like, yes, I know I was teasing Tim earlier, but that is teasing. Tim is more than welcome. Anyone is more than welcome, and they don't even need my permission. They have their opinions, and that's fine. But to say, if we look at things objectively, there are certain films that I may like. I don't think that they're the best film that's out there. I just prefer it.
Right.
And I feel like that's what people aren't getting with Skinamarink. They're trying so hard to either shit on it and say it's absolutely horrible and the worst thing in the world, or they're trying to be like, oh no, you just don't understand because it's so deep and artistic and this and that. Like, let's just call it out there. It was unique. It was different. Good for the director for trying something different, but it was too long. Should have been condensed and quicker to the point.
Yeah, because for one, the story that was there could have been told within, like I said, about 20 minutes short. Because there wasn't a lot of dialogue. You would have had the exact same effect. Granted, it wouldn't have made it to theaters because it would have been too short to go to a theater. But you would have gotten like the same amount of attention if this was like, you would have actually probably hooked more people if this was like on an anthology of some sort. And this was like a short film.
I really do feel like this is a one-trick pony. You're not going to release a film that's like this again and have people flock out to see it.
Right. Like,
in my opinion.
I'm curious to see what this director ends up doing next. If he continues to try doing more of this experimental horror, or if he tries something a bit different now that like he's gotten a name behind him. But I know Brandon Orlick, he had said that he watched this guy's YouTube shorts that he made before this, and they were all of that very similar style. So who knows? It might just be something this guy continues to do going forward, and he might capture a specific fan base that sticks with him, but he's not going to get any bigger than what he did. Like, this was a flash in the pan success, I think, just for the right time.
And it's something different. Horror fans love to be different.
Yes.
They love to thrive on we're not like everyone else. We're unique. We're different. And that's cool. We all front one way or another as a horror fan. We all do. Right?
Yeah, to say, but to the ones that I just got, like, I'm kind of piggybacking off of what you said earlier about, you like what you like and people dislike what they dislike. That does not give you the right to say, well, you just don't get it. Because that's probably not the case. Most of the time, if there's a film we don't like, there's a reason we don't like it. And doesn't mean we don't get it. Like, if we don't get it, most of the time we'd say, we don't get it. But like,
and if someone doesn't get it and you do, it doesn't give you any special level of intelligence.
Right.
Like, it really actually doesn't. I would never be like, oh, because I really liked Rent-A-Pal. Or, I don't know. I'm trying to think of some really artsy, over the top. There's a lot of like woke films I like that people would call woke. I don't think I'm honestly better than anyone else because of the films I choose to like. They're just films I'm passionate about. It doesn't make me special. It doesn't do any of that shit. So like you liking Skinamarink does not put you in a special category.
Right. I mean, for example, I mean, look at my love I had for ankle biters. Like that
Yeah.
was super low budget, and I knew not many people were gonna love it, but that one just I loved it. I had a blast with it. But yeah, that like we say, everybody has different opinions for films and what affects them, going forward. And same with like me, like you made joke, but like Were Deer. Like I had a blast with that because I know it's exactly what I liked, and it's like my style of movie. And I'm not recommending it to everybody because I know not everybody's gonna like it, but that was just like something that hit me right where I hit me in the funny bone at the right moment.
For sure. It's like how I liked Bitch Ass,
Yeah,
right? Like it's by no stance. Like I just think sometimes when people try to come on and be like, "Well, you just haven't watched enough movies."
yeah.
I can assure you, Scott and I have watched lots of movies.
When people say that to me, I almost want to go, bitch. You know who you talking to?
And like yet again, we can put the value. We were just having some good fun, especially the quote of "This is Canadian. This is why no one takes us seriously."
Yes.
Anyway, so Skinamarink, love it, hate it, you do you. Some good things that came out of that. We'll see what he does again. Now, Infinity Pool, I know for some people has not been their thing. Personally, this movie blew my fucking mind. Couple of things that are spoilers that I just want to establish with Scott here. So, throughout the movie, we learn that there's double cloning that happens in this country.
Yes.
At the end, we see that Alex Skarsgård's character is now going to go back home. Do you think, and he doesn't leave, he goes back to the resort. Do you think it was the double or do you think it was him?
That stayed at the resort or the one that
Yeah. Well, no one left. He didn't leave. He went back to the resort.
Well, no, one of them did leave.
No,
one of them went back to his wife.
No, because he was sitting at the airport. Everyone was gone. Remember?
Yeah, and
did he actually get on the plane? Because I thought that he didn't get on the plane because you don't actually see him get on the plane.
I may have to rewatch it, but I swore that one version of him stayed behind and the doppelganger went back to his wife.
See, I thought he sat there in the airport. Everyone was gone. Like he was literally the only one left. And then they show him at the resort, walking into the resort.
Yeah, see, what I thought was when he was alone at the airport is that everybody else that he was with were going to different states and everything like that where they lived, and he was still waiting for his plane, is how I took it. And then it pans to
the resort.
And I thought that was the real him sitting at the resort.
Ooh.
Wanting to continue that, and he sent the doppelganger back to his wife.
Okay, so here's me thinking that he couldn't get on the plane because he was the doppelganger, and he went back to the resort.
Okay,
but that's interesting.
I like that we have these different takeaways from this,
right?
Because that's what this film does. It makes you think.
It makes you think, and I just want to give a shout out to Mia Goth's performance at the car scene. Where she's on the hood? On the hood.
Yes.
Because it was so uncomfortable for me, I had to look away.
Did you really?
Her bullying of him, I just felt so bad for this guy. It really fucking affected me. That performance. I understand Tim Davis said that she was kind of annoying, and she is throughout the film. She is kind of annoying. She's supposed to be. Like her character's annoying, right? But that scene to me was like fucking beyond powerful.
Yeah, because I just realized how much danger this guy is in. Like, like the unfortunate crowd that
and
he
how
got around.
cruel she was. Like cruel. Like it was so cruel. And I like how he doesn't want to leave because he realizes he can act out his fantasies and just get copied and then not have any consequences.
Yeah, because the copy is the one that gets punished.
Right? And I kind of wondered, I'm like, is this a play on like not wanting to have any consequences and doing whatever you want? And then what happens when you can no longer do that? Like, because, sometimes you go away and like you're just out of cruise, right? So you're drinking every day. And like that's a small factor of it, right?
But
some people hook up at resorts and stuff like that. But
I'm different than I would be here working.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't be drinking every day and stuff like that. So I get that.
Right.
Like, and I think that it takes that vacation mode setting of like, all right, I'm in vacation mode. I'm going to do this and just live it up, whatever. Yeah. And ratchets it up to 1,000.
Yeah.
Hedonism and just weird sexual depravities and just not caring about the consequences. Because like you said, like, like he doesn't get punished for it. literally gets a copy made and the copy gets punished.
Right? There's
And
no
it's
ownership, there's no nothing. I think it's interesting that we had two different takes on the ending, and but we both kind of picked up on the same vibes throughout it.
and one thing I also thought too was this could be another way it could be taken is, when they first all got in trouble, where we're thinking like a clone gets made of him and then gets killed.
Mhm.
It could have went the clone got made and now the clone is living his life and the real version of him got
Yeah,
killed and punished. Like it could just be doing that where it's just constantly making a new copy. You don't like they don't ever fully explain it, so it makes you think that too. It's like, wait, maybe they are just living it up until they die, and then a new one comes in, lives it up with the same memories until he dies, and then a new one comes in, continues that, and just it could be a continuous cycle over and over and over again.
right.
Or it could just be the same person, like we're talking, that just continues this and lets the copies die. It's
And
very
then
interesting.
who were the other characters? Were they copies?
Right.
Right? Was Mia Goth a copy, or was she? Yeah, like it was so. And I don't know. Brandon Cronenberg gets stronger and stronger with each film he makes.
Mm-hmm.
His films get better and better. And definitely, if Cronenberg isn't your thing, all respect here. Like, I totally get that. No issues. Like, you like what you like. But for me and Scotty, like, I don't know. We fucking love Brandon Cronenberg. This is a pro Brandon Cronenberg podcast. Like, we
Yeah.
just think he's the bomb digs.
Like honestly, because I think I've said this before on the show that I prefer him over his father, and yep, it's just I prefer him over his father. Like he just keeps doing these very like even his he has a lot of what his father did with a lot of the social
Yeah.
commentary and a
Yeah.
lot of the body horror stuff, but he does it in a more modern,
Modern.
unique way
Modern.
that just kind of grabs me more.
Where David Cronenberg was modern for his time,
Yes.
right? Brandon is doing it now for 2023.
Yeah, and I
Right?
love that.
Right. So yeah, some really cool heavy hitters that came out this year. So we'll see what the rest of this year brings. We still got a lot of year to go, a lot of films to come out, a lot of things to see, but things are beginning to ramp up now, which
Yeah,
is nice to see.
this coming weekend is Cocaine Bear, and I cannot
Fuck
fucking
yeah.
wait.
Oh, I can't wait to hear what you think about it. It'll be great to hear.
Oh, I'm so pumped.
We'll definitely be talking about that on our next episode, which we will be back to our regular scheduled program. We will be releasing episodes every 2 weeks. We will look at doing a wrestling episode, hopefully in April, if we can schedule something with our friends Tim and Rob. But in the meantime, if you like what you hear, you can check out more of podcasts like us on the Legion Podcast Network. There's a variety of shows that you can check out there. Just go there and subscribe. We're underneath the Kill the Cast feed. We're Friday Nightmares. Kill the Cast just released an episode recently. They released it about a week ago today, if you're listening on a Friday. So please go back and listen to them. There's also a Patreon with Legion where you can go in, you can get codes, listen to bonus episodes. And if you're not a Patreon member yet,
Oh, sorry, I'm a bit rusty. I forgot. I was supposed to say something here, wasn't I? What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Why haven't you signed up yet? What are you waiting for? Join us. What are you waiting for? We are Legion. Join us. What are you waiting for?
join us today for $3 a month. As always, we give shouts out to all the amazing other podcasters that support us. Mike Merriman and Venom from Fresh Cuts, Darren from Psychosomatic Podcast, Lance from The Horror Returns, oh my god, Tim Davis and Daniel from Dummies of Horror, Rob Humphreys from Slasher Radio and This Horror Life. And am I forgetting any other
Dave Z.
podcasters? Dave
Dave
Z
Exploding
and
Heads.
Christian from Exploding Heads. And I think that's it. Oh, Dave Bailey, of course, from
Good old Xander Kane.
oh my gosh, what is their podcast? And
Cemetery
Android
Gates.
Cemetery Gates podcast. So please check out all the awesome podcasts that are out there and listen to what they have to say as well, because they're all super smart and they probably all didn't like Skinamarink either. So
Right.
right. So until next time, Scotty has a little message for you.
Until next time, kiddies. We hope you enjoyed this episode. It's good to be back. The smoke show's on fire, and he is ready to burn some shit down. So until next time, unpleasant dreams.
See ya.
Hey, everybody. Just wanted to jump in here real quick. One thing I had forgot to mention when I was kind of doing my tribute to Thick 44 from Neebs Gaming. I just wanted to mention that not only was he just an awesome person, like and funny and talent. He was also very talented, did a lot of voice acting, and one thing that I really wanted to mention was that he is also an amazing musician. Not only did he write songs, he did all the instruments, he's done vocals, and one thing I wanted to do for the end of this episode was kind of give a little tribute to him and play one of his songs from when he was with Neebs Gaming, and he ended up doing a song about Conan Exiles where it was him and his group, and it was basically the song is kind of telling the story that they are going through in the video game. The song is called Unleashed, and so I figure I would just play it here and hope you guys enjoy. And rest in peace, Thick. You will be greatly missed.
Crucified, lived here to die for crimes I swear I didn't commit. At the end of my line, look back at my life and I'm trying to make sense of it. I lift my head up one last time to gaze upon this wretched land. I see a warrior approaching, but he's not a normal man. He is a legend, so many respect him, but I have to question what he's doing here. And I'm only guessing, but I'ma be destined, so I know the end of my story is near. He took a breath and looked me dead in the eye, and this is what he said: I'ma help you down, but after that you're on your own, kid. That's all I need, this is my time to take back everything I lost. I know the stakes, I'll do whatever it takes to get this bracelet off. There is a fire so built up inside me, won't be satisfied until I become free. Conan, this name won't be forgotten, I will rest until I'm king.
I can feel the gods at my hands can change the world, and I am finally set free. Unchain me, you will never break me. My spirit is untamed, and I have been unleashed.
Things ain't great now, but they're much better. Just turned a pack of hyenas into some leather. Temple of Bats on my quest and I need some thick hide. Albino bat at the top of the steps has got me like thick hide. Good kid scourge of the black heat, now I'm wearing this shit like khakis. And the witch queen is unhappy, cause I turned her into an amputee. Exiled and tortured alive, they created a monster so deep down within me. And not gonna lie, in the back of my mind I decided that I would never let them kill me. Confined to the chains that would bind me. So what I'm about to do, please God forgive me. Just try to send me to hell, cause I'm coming right back and I'm bringing hell with me.
I can feel the gods at my hands can change the world, and I am finally set free. Unchain me, you will never break me. My spirit is untamed, and I have been unleashed.
Now I bow my head and pray I have the strength to find a way to vindicate those who enslaved me for so long. I will embrace the hate that has consumed me on my way to retribution. In the unnamed city, raise my God and turn it into ruin. Slave no more, I slay my enemies, and this will be my legacy. Thinking back when I was on that cross and Conan had befriended me. Take back everything that's mine, opposition left to die, and every demon that I face is dead. Except that bat, he's still alive.
I